Time now for Commodities Corner with Andrew Bell. Andy, you've got a fascinating interview lined up.
We're talking lithium, and we're talking to the boss of American Lithium. It trades on the Venture Exchange under the symbol LI. That, of course, is the symbol for the element lithium. The stock has gone vertical lately. It just listed on the NASDAQ as well, and that, of course, does increase your visibility among American investors. We are joined now by the CEO of American Lithium, Simon Clarke. It's great to see you.
Nice to meet you, Andy. Nice to be here.
We should get past this. You trained in Scotland as a lawyer. How did you end up running a lithium company?
I went to the bright lights of London, got involved in investment banking, and then got a job offer in Vancouver. And the job itself didn't work out, but it got me into Vancouver and got involved in junior resources on the energy tech, and then mining side.
And you previously were involved in a cobalt company that got sold.
I was a CEO of M2 Cobalt, which was founded in about 2016. We had assets in East Africa on the cobalt side, and we were acquired by Jervois Global, who's a big player in the cobalt market.
Well, let's talk about lithium. You have two projects, one in Nevada and one in Peru.
Yes.
Now, they're not brine, where a lot of the world's production comes from. Both would be mining. Tell us about the one in Nevada first. It's called TLC.
Yeah, it's 15 minutes outside the town of Tonopah in a great mining district in Nevada. It's on the Esmeralda Trend, which is the same as companies like Lithium Americas with Thacker Pass, Ioneer, which is the big Aussie players that have a big project there, ourselves, and then to the south of us, Cyprus. We would be the big four. And the style of mineralization there is it's a sedimentary deposit, so we're dealing with a clay stone.
Does that make it easier to get out?
It just makes it different. I mean, lithium is difficult, whatever style of mineralization it is, whether it's brine, whether it's pegmatites or other forms of hard rock. It's a chemical process. So, you know, I think for us, we've done a lot of work. We've got a PA coming out imminently, which I think will show the work that we've done in understanding the mineralization. And companies like Lithium Americas have run successful pilots on the clay stones.
Oh.
They have a permit. They've had some challenges on it, but they are permitted to build a mine there. So, you know, we're very much looking forward to drive this project ahead.
So the preliminary economic assessment is coming, but ballpark, you think that this TLC Nevada project about $750 million US to develop?
You know, I think if you look at the other projects out there, it's probably going to be in line. Our Falciani project, for example, in Peru, you know, the capex on that was about $575 million US, but that was pre-pandemic, all the run-up in input costs that we've seen. So, you know, those kind of numbers will be in and around the ballpark.
And then this Macusani thing is a uranium play, and are you thinking of spinning that off?
Yeah, so I mean, we acquired Plateau for Falciani, for the lithium project. We think it's got the potential to be one of the biggest producers in the world. It's high purity, high grade, fantastic asset, and it was in a company called Plateau Energy, and we acquired Plateau Energy in May of 2011. And as well as Falciani, they also have a world-class uranium asset called Macusani. And so, you know, we've done some development work on it, but it's quite clear we don't get any value for it within a lithium developer. It's also very clear that I think it's the 5th largest undeveloped project, one of the lowest OPEXs out there. And we think if it's in its own vehicle trading separately, it'll do very well and benefit all our shareholders if we spin it out.
That's a loyal following right now for uranium stocks as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Tell us about the politics of this thing, because you're in Peru. I mean, some people might be wondering, is he going to do a deal with the Chinese? They have this giant lithium/battery industry. But the Canadian government has made it clear they're not that keen on partnerships with China.
Yeah, the elephant in the room. It's a great question, Andy, and you know, I think, so you look at American Lithium, as the name would suggest, it was set up to focus on the domestic supply chain, and that's always been the goal of the company, is that these assets will be developed for the benefit of that supply chain, and that remains our vision. Obviously, you've seen a lot of deals in South America with the Chinese paying a lot of money for brine and other projects down there. So they are a very viable exit for us down the road if we were to choose to go that way. However, you know, the latest pronouncements from the Canadian government will obviously make that more difficult. And I would say, in line with our vision, you know, we didn't acquire Falciani to sell it to the Chinese. I think the step of the Canadian government is interesting. I think what they've announced is half a policy. And, you know, I've had these conversations with the US and the Canadian ambassadors down there that, you know, if you're going to stop an exit like that, then we need your help on the ground, you know, politically as we look to permit these projects, and also, you know, things like the Inflation Reduction Act in the US, which is great for domestic lithium, have the potential to be applied to trading partners like Peru. So we would love to see more active involvement in country from the US and the Canadians. And, you know, I think if you look at the western side of the supply chain, if you want to call it that, if we don't protect some of these great assets, not only within the US and Canada itself, but in, you know, countries that have typically been aligned, then, you know, I think we're going to lose some great opportunities.
And the Chinese, of course, have such a dominant position right now. Simon, we'll have to leave it there, though.
No problem.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Andy.
Simon Clarke, CEO of American